Hey guys, this is Nedge, and in today's video we're going to be doing something a little bit different, which is making a villager breeder system. Now I've done a fair bit of trading with villagers in survival Minecraft, and know just how beneficial it can be to have a good system set up. So in today's video we're going to be going over some of the basics that it takes to set up a system that'll really help you get an edge in your world. So let's get started. So the very first step in setting up a successful villager trading is to have a good villager breeder. So to do that, you're just going to need the resources in this chest here. And then one of the most difficult parts with having a successful villager breeder is actually getting them out. That's where it can get a little tricky. So if you set up your minecarts like this, it is a whole lot easier to get them out and transport it around. So you want to go ahead and do 4 with the last one going up. And then this is the block right here where they will be standing. So what you want to do then is just have this minecart rail pointed up, which you can do just by placing one on top, and then have the last rail here connecting it. And then when the minecart goes, it'll go through and grab one and pass through completely. And then you just need to build up the actual chamber where they will be held. So I like to do about 4 blocks or so. So that's 3, and then 4 here. And then at the top here, you just want to go ahead and go all the way around, like so. And then the beds next. And then lastly, you just want to do a dark oak fence, or just any fence in the middle here. And then that'll allow the baby villagers to fall down while keeping the adults up top. And then just trapdoors around with carpet in the corner. And then that's the whole thing there. So what you'll do is have 2 villagers standing here that are breeding to produce new villagers that'll stay down below. And then when they grow up, you'll transport them to later become traded with. So this is the full thing here. And yeah, building this is your very first step. All right, and then once you have this built, you want to go ahead and actually get villagers in there, which can be pretty difficult to do. But I found that the easiest way to do it is just to have villagers nearby and have them go into the beds. So if you were in a village, for example, you would want to wait until night and then have 2 villagers. So let's say it's night. All right, and then when it is night, villagers will naturally pathfind to the closest beds. So with any luck, there we go. Our first one went up, and then the second one is following after him. And yeah, if you do it this way, it saves you a lot of the annoying pushing villagers around and trying to get them at the right spot. So you'll see they're in the beds here, and then you'll just want to go ahead and break the staircase, just so that when they wake up, they're not on it. And then what we'll see is that when it does turn back to day, both will start right there, which is exactly where you want them. And if you do it that way, you don't have to deal with any of the annoying pushing them around or trying to get them into the right place. So now that this entire breeder is set up, to make it actually useful, you need to feed the villagers, because they only breed when they have food in their inventory. So there are 4 different food types that work for this, but the best one out of the 4 of them is bread. The reason for this is that bread counts as 3 points, where everything else counts as 1 point. So a villager takes 12 points to breed, so 4 pieces of bread for 1 baby villager. So a stack should be more than enough, and then if you just go ahead and throw it to them, they will have it in their inventory and trade with each other if they need to. And ultimately, you'll get some baby villagers. Yep, there we go. So we saw him sharing. And with any luck, we'll get some love particles here as well. Typically, I like to just throw them as much as I can. Sometimes several stacks if you're able to. But yeah, that is the first step here. All right, and this took just about 30 seconds or so, but we do have our first baby villager at the bottom here. So sometimes this villager breeder might stop working, and it might seem kind of random when it happens. There are a couple different things that I like to do right away to try and troubleshoot and solve the issue. So the first is just to give them more food. It can run out pretty quickly, especially when breeding a ton of villagers. So give them more food. And then if that doesn't work, the next best fix that I like to try and do is to actually just go ahead and break the beds and replace them all. Um, I'm not exactly sure why this will fix it, but I have had situations where I've been placing down more beds and trying to do just about everything, but still not able to fix it, and then breaking and replacing the beds will. So when placing the trapdoors, just make sure to place them so that they're facing inwards, like that, so it's a whole lot easier to actually do this if it does come down to your breeder not working. So let's say it's been a while, and now we have grown-up villagers in here, and we want to start actually trading with them. There's one more thing we want to do, which is turn them into zombies by having a zombie attack them, and then curing them, as that'll set the price trade a lot lower than it is otherwise. So to do this, I like to put a zombie in a 1x1 with a trapdoor on the same block as him, and a powered rail in front, where I can switch it on or off. Now you want to make sure you're in hard mode too, because in other difficulties, sometimes the zombie will just kill the villager without actually curing him. And then I like to have the rails lead into a little hole like this one. I do a 3x3, but other sizes work too. And I find that in a 3x3, I can usually do about 10 villagers at a time. So we'll go over, and we'll start sending some of them over. So the first ones, I just like to have them come over and go straight in. So there's one, and there's number two. And then we're going to go ahead and say that the third villager here is the last one, and we only want to do 3 at a time. So we're going to switch this lever to off, and then that'll make the cart stop right in front of the zombie. So we'll send him through, and sometimes it might miss the villager. If you just give him a little tap like that, it should readjust their position and help the cart grab them. So we'll send the cart through, and then over to the zombie, and we'll notice right away that he starts getting attacked by the zombie. So you'll want to have sun coverage just to make sure that he doesn't start burning, and then just send him on over to where your other villagers are. Now once he's in there, they'll get scared and start running away, and you just want to be very careful. If you fall in here while it is all zombies, it can be quite dangerous, and just break the cart. Alright, we'll just break the cart like that, and then jump out, and then if you just stand far away, he will eventually start attacking the villagers. You don't want him to have line of sight on you, or else he'll just stay focused on you. And now they are converting. Oh, he came back into me. We'll just stay out of his way here. There we go. Alright, so that sounds like one of them and both of them. So now we have 3 zombie villagers. So the very last step in the process here is just to cure the villagers. So this is done just with a splash potion of weakness and then golden apples on them. And after about 5 to 10 minutes, they'll turn back into villagers. Now I like to do about 5 cycles of that normally, just because it helps get the lowest trade prices possible. So I'll leave them in there, and I'll wait until they start coming back into villagers, and then the ones that are still zombies will reinfect them. And then I'll do that process again and again. And then the last step, when you do the last round of that, is just to get them out. So with this little system here, you can go ahead and safely eject them all. Now normally I would have this leading towards a trading hall, where I would go ahead and tuck him away safely, and he would eventually cure, and then be ready to trade with. So yeah, that'll go ahead and wrap it up. That's just about the full process for getting started with villager trading. If there's anything you feel like I missed or any questions you still have, feel free to go ahead and let me know, and I'll try to answer everything to the best that I can. And if you like this video, I would appreciate it a lot if you could leave a like and maybe subscribe to the channel. But thank you so much for watching.